Jai Srila Bhakti Sudhir Goswami Maharaj ki Jai. Shri Nabadwip Dham Parikrama ki Jai. Second day from our traditional parikramas in the time of Gurudev.
Dhanyavad Maharaj, so I'm asking that this evening the program will be mostly conducted by you, and I may chime in from time to time. They call me the charming chimer.
Maharaj, you are invited to chime at each moment.
All right, but you conduct the program this evening.
Well, Maharaj, conducting the program. We're starting, Maharaj, on our second day, so let us begin with mini Vandanam. Is that okay? We can chant Vandeham.
Yes, yep.
All right, Maharaj. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yogapith Kamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavangscha
Sri Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatham Vitantam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Harijana Sahitam Sri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Sri Visakhan Vitangscha.
Om Jnana Jnananjana
Salakaya Gurumilitam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha
Vancha
Kalpatarubhyascha Vipassana Devata Patitanam Pavanevyo Vaishnavevyo Namo Namaha.
And to Gauranga Namo Mahavadanyaya
Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaura Trise Nama.
And we can never go wrong with the Maha Mantra, Panchatattva and Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Sri Krishna Chaitanya
Prabhu Nityananda Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
So today is the second day of Sri Nabadwip Dham Parikrama, as followed, as guided by Srila Gurudev for many, many years, from Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Math in Nabadwip. And yesterday, we do start, as we did yesterday, by first going to Mayapur, going to Antardwip, going to the place of the appearance of Mahaprabhu, the Sri Yogapith, and coming to the remembrance of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and of course Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur, the revealer of the Dham. And then today, yesterday would be a long day of walking.
Вчера был длинный путь, мы проделали по парикрамному пути, и сегодня
I'm hearing Nityananda Das.
Okay, little adjustment in the audio department. All right, so yesterday was a long day of walking and boat, actually, to cross the Ganges twice, to go and to come, and a long day of walking. Today is traditionally a short day, and it is the day for Koladwip. And so starting from our temple, where we have the presiding deity of Koladwip, which is Sri Lakshmi Varaha Dev, as Shalagram Shila, his own pastime to come to Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Math, but the presiding deity of Koladwip in his own place, there in Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Math, and the wonderful deities of Srila Guru Maharaj, and worshipped by Srila Gurudev, served by Srila Gurudev and Srila Guru Maharaj, Saparika Shri Shri Guru Gauranga Gandhava Govinda Sundar Jew. So we started the mat, and today it is a half-day parikrama. So after a long day yesterday, then a short day today, and a day to recover and get back on our feet. And today we'll be focusing on Chaitanya Saraswat Math, and then going into the town of Nabadwip, what is the present day town, city of Nabadwip, and coming presently to Vishnupriya's deity of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, confirmed by Guru Maharaj himself as that same deity. And everywhere we always want and need confirmation from Guru Maharaj and Gurudev that really this is correct, that this is right or not. And if ever we have any query, we will have that opportunity to ask them. And the deity of Mahaprabhu there, as worshipped by Vishnu Priya Devidasi, the same deity. And of course, this brings a lot of joy and inspiration to the heart of the devotees. But we'll start in Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Math. And Maharaj, who better to give us the history of the substance of Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Math than Maharaj, Your Holiness, on this. So we are at the mat, beginning the program, and although in Thailand it is evening, it is dark and evening, in Nabadwip it would be dark and morning when the parikramas begin, just after the Mangalarti of the deities. So Maharaj, can we pass the microphone to Your Holiness?
Yeah, so Srila Guru Maharaj has always admired self-sacrifice. That's what has attracted him most. Wherever the greatest degree of self-sacrifice is, he finds that in Srimati Radharani and Mahaprabhu. So he would say sometimes, I was not so much attracted to Krishna because Krishna is an enjoyer. Right? All the devotees are giving themselves to Krishna. Like yesterday was Ekadashi. Srila Gurudev said, devotees devise various schemes to not feel anything. To eat this thing or this much or that much. And Gurudev said, no, that little thing you feel, that little pain you feel on Ekadashi, that means you're giving something to Krishna. So don't shoot yourself in the foot, so to speak. And Ekadashi is like, half off sale. And they go, everything reduced, 50%, everything must go. So it's this day, you get the discount. You pay less and you get more. So Gurudev said, that little pain you experience on the fast day, that's your offering to Krishna. Because we're told at that time, Guru Maharaj said, Krishna's more excited, his enjoying spirit, which is divine. And so you're giving a little bit of your accumulated energy to him for his pleasure, and a little pain you're suffering. Like we see the Nataraj here dancing. His service is to destroy everything, interestingly. And I was saying the other day, how beautiful it must be when that time comes and he's throwing planets and, kicking them to pieces, and Ganesh is playing his drum, and they're not crying. It's because it's seva. It will close the shop and then another universe will start. It's all divine. So when Achyutananda Swami was staying at the Chaitanya Saraswat Math with Srila Guru Maharaj, there was one period where he was staying with Damodar Maharaj of Sri Gaudiya Math. And Damodar Maharaj was living very simply. And he went to Calcutta for a few days. And everything is locked. In any Gaudiya Math, everything's locked. That's why the Bandari has a big ring full of keys on his waist, because everything is locked. So, Dandavat. So he went to Calcutta and didn't leave the key for the prasadam. So Achyutananda, one day goes by, he's fasting, is not taking anything. So finally he goes to Chaitanya Saraswat Math, to Gurudev and Guru Maharaj, and they go, what's the problem? He goes, Damodar Maharaj went to Calcutta and he didn't leave the key for the prasadam. And Govinda Maharaj says, why didn't you come here sooner? You can take prasadam here. And Guru Maharaj and Gurudev loved this story, and Achyutananda, and they told this for many, many years. So they said, why didn't you say anything earlier? Achyutananda said, Krishna is dancing. Repeatedly, Guru Maharaj and Gurudev told him, Krishna is dancing. And if by his dancing, something's being thrown this way, that, we know the devotees, Guru Maharaj said, they say, Lord, dance on me. If you need a place, dance on top of me. They're offering themselves. So Srila Guru Maharaj has always admired self-giving. And he found that reaches its epitome in Srimati Radharani, and her heart reflected in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Because when there was this student at school who had a self-giving nature in college, Guru Maharaj really admired him. And he said one morning they're brushing their teeth. And we know that means, you go into the woods and pick up a twig, like off of a neem tree or something, and you brush your teeth like that. They're doing that. And he says to Guru Maharaj, that gentleman's house I'm staying in, blah, 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 blah. And he was talking about his father. And Guru Maharaj said, that's an inappropriate way to speak about your father. That gentleman's house I live in? He's your father. Why do you say like that? And he said, no, what you're saying is true. He said, but also, one life I lived here, one life Janame Hoy Pita Mata Pai, Guru Krishna, Guru Krishna Pai Bhajahari. Birth after birth, you get a mother and father, but you don't always get the mercy of Krishna and the connection of a Vaishnava. But guaranteed you'll have another mother and father. So he said to Guru Maharaj, really, what you're saying is true, a little disrespectful, not the right way to refer to that gentleman's house I live in. But isn't it true? Life after life, there's mother and father. This is the world that we live in. And Guru Maharaj said, that touched his heart when he heard that, and he thought, yes, what he's saying is true. So Srila Guru Maharaj is saying, I was not so much attracted to Krishna, but recently, he said, some attraction for Krishna has developed. He said, because I know if you are to be a servitor in the group of Srimati Radharani, then naturally you have some affinity, some affection for Krishna. That reveals the degree to which he is a follower of Srimati Radharani under the guidance of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Srila Saraswati Thakur, Srila Gaurkishordas Babaji Maharaj. So always that, Atmani Vedanam, sharanagati, right? So, and when Guru Maharaj started coming to Sri Gaudiya Math, his wife passed away. His father made him wanted him to promise on his deathbed. He knew he was so disinclined toward married life. So his father said, Ramu, promise me after I go that you'll marry. And Guru Maharaj said, I can't promise. Classic Guru Maharaj, he goes, I can't promise, but I will try. On his deathbed, he wouldn't say, he said, no, I can't promise, but I'll try. And then he did marry, but so his father died. Then his wife died, and he started going to Gaudiya Math, and the devotees going, Prabhu, Lalita said today about Hari, what means, who takes away, stealer. Yasyaha manugranami harishe tadanamshanai. Prabhupada joked about this with Guru Maharaj. To one whom Krishna favors, he takes away everything. This is the part where all the devotees get nervous. So if he favors you, he takes away everything. As Saraswati Thakur said, stay and dedicate today. I say, if your house is on fire, let it burn to the ground. Because it's that house and everything in it that's keeping you bound in this world. So stay here, fully dedicate yourself today. So the devotees are going, Prabhu, what does Krishna have to do? Your father's dead. your wife just died. Does he have to kill more of your family members before you join? You know. So then Guru Maharaj, but he's going. And before that, when he's making the decision, he goes to the lectures of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur every evening. And one night he comes and one devotee comes and says, I'm sorry, you won't be allowed to attend a lecture this evening. And his reason being, he was observing Guru Maharaj. Guru Maharaj, by his own admission, he was an acute listener. And the man thought, nobody listens like that. And there's all kinds of political activity going on, Indian independence movements. And he thought, he's a spy. The government suspects that in the guise of religious organization or a religious meeting, that actually political activity are going on. So they send a spy. And this is still going on. So they send a spy to be like, Jai, Haribol, and see if they're actually discussing other things. So he thought, the way that man is listening, he's a spy. So he said, I'm sorry, you won't be allowed to attend the lecture this evening. To Srila Guru Maharaj, to Om Vishnupad, Srila Bhakti Rakak, Sridhar Dev Goswami, and you think your life is troublesome. They forbid the Rupa Nugadara from going to the class in the evening. As Guru Maharaj would say, God save us from our enemies, God save us from our friends. So Guru Maharaj decides to go for a walk on the bank of the Ganga. People often forget that the so-called Hooghly River is the Ganga. It's just called the Hooghly, God knows why, but it's the Ganga. But even within Calcutta, the one Ghat, they call Ganga Ghat. So he goes there and he's thinking, these people surrounding Saraswati Thakur, some of them are intolerable. I don't see myself joining up with them. But I can't deny that what I'm looking for, what my heart is searching for, that Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he personifies that. He's the messenger of the great Messiah. He's everything that my heart is searching for. And he's surrounded by some people that I don't care for. So because he's got what I need and what I want, I'm going to tolerate them. And not be disrespectful. I'm going to tolerate them because of Saraswati Thakur. So he joined Sri Gaudiya Math, but then fast forward, after the disappearance of Saraswati Thakur, and he gives various instructions to his disciples, he says something a little mysterious. He says the final words after he says, the professor and Vasudev, they'll carry on the Rupa Nuga line with writing. Tirtha Maharaj will be in management for life. Everybody should respect him, and telling all these different things. And just as a side point, notice at that time, he doesn't say that Guru Maharaj will be his successor. He doesn't say that Srila Prabhupada, they're there too. He doesn't indicate them at that time. And we can get into a whole level of mystic interpretation, but he did not indicate that overtly. And I think it's because it's the way, Narada comes and tells Kamsa certain things to make the Leela progress and for Krishna to appear sooner. He doesn't want it to be late, so it's all divine. But he says this mysterious statement as his final words. He says, love and rupture both for Krishna. Love and rupture. Rupture means breaking apart, being torn apart, disintegrating. Love and rupture, it's not that rupture is always bad. Swadharme nidhanam shreya paro dharma vyavaha, Krishna in the Gita. Right? He says it's be cautious, be careful, but he doesn't say it's always necessarily fatal. And Guru Maharaj says, when he heard that sloka in the Bhagavad Gita saying, stay in your position, to go outside is dangerous. Doesn't say it's fatal, it says it's dangerous. So Guru Maharaj said when he read that, he was discouraged. Guru Maharaj is very honest. He said, how can the words of Krishna be discouraging? He read it, was discouraged, said, stay in your position. Then Guru Maharaj said, later, when I heard, Sarva dharmam parityajya mam ekam sharanam braja, give up everything and come to me directly, without delay. He said, oh, then my heart was happy. And then he revisited the earlier shloka, which is in the 2nd chapter, and he said he understood it in this way. Why are you being told to stay in your position? You're being told to stay in your position to make progress. He said, but if it reaches the point where by remaining in your position, not only are you no longer progressing, but you're going down, he said, then you may take the risk to go outside or elsewhere. But your purpose is to make progress. So as long as, you're treading water or on an even keel, remain in your position. Said, but if by remaining in that position, you're going down, not only making progress or maintaining, but you're going down, then you may take the risk, and risk is involved. You may take the risk of embracing another position. These things we have heard being situated at the lotus feet of Srila Guru Maharaj, and we share them with you because he told us, what I have given you, you must extend to others, and not anything less than what I have given you. He didn't say, edit it and, look through it, and you find some things that you think are suitable for others, share that. That's not what he said, at least to me. To me, he said, and I'm saying, how do I express my gratitude to you? He said, by extending what I have given you to others. And then he added, and not anything less than what I have given you. That ratcheted it up. Not anything less than what I've given to you. I'm saying, wow, but you've given everything. How can I possibly do? Yeah, then you try according to your limited capacity. When some people were trying to translate the Prapanna-jivanamritam into English, and I was a little worried that it wasn't really an accurate representation of what was there. And I went to Srila Guru Maharaj to tell him about it, because one morning he explained one of the very verses they're working on, and it was very different than what they were saying and writing and publishing. So I expressed my concerns to Srila Guru Maharaj, and he said, is anything coming through? I said, oh yeah, something's coming through. It's just not what you were saying and the level of your representation. He said, then it has its value. He said, just like when you go to give a class, you don't exhaust what could be said about that shloka. You're dealing with the infinite. Infinite levels of meaning can be extracted from there. Like Mahaprabhu and Sanatan. Mahaprabhu and Sarvabhauma, 9 meanings of Atmarama. Mahaprabhu, 18, that's 27. When explaining to Sanatan, 60, right? 60. And Guru Maharaj said, why so many for Sanatan and few? And he goes, greater capacity. So after 60, Sanatan Goswami says, this is divine. And he starts praising Mahaprabhu. And Mahaprabhu is saying, oh, I feel another meaning awakening because of your necessity. I don't even know what all this means. Ahang vedmi sukhaveti vyasaveti naveti ba. But what I do know is that Krishna wants to grace you through me. Some divine current comes down and is passing through me to you. Oh, you are so great, so fortunate that Krishna is blessing you in this way. That much I know. But what's passing through me, I don't know. Right? And he gave 61st meaning. Right? So, Srila Guru Maharaj, he, after the rupture of Sri Gaudiya Math, he goes to Vrindavan in the month of Kartik, the month of Radharani. And he's doing Brajamandal Parikrama, but he's also collecting shlokas, studying deeply, Sharanagati, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, all the books. He's extracting verses because he's thinking, what is it? What is surrender? Am I a surrendered soul? Am I on the path of surrender? All these things. Another sloka, another sloka. He's thinking, I will collect all the verses of all the great devotees, what they've said about it, what Mahaprabhu has said, everything, and I will present that for the pleasure of the Vaishnavas and the higher upper world. And then after that, and then he's thinking, he loves very much Kadam Kandi of Rupa Goswami, but his specialty is the Brahma Gita, when Uddhava is delivering, remember, Braja Gopis, Atati Yad Bhavan Anikananam Tutir Yugayate Tomapasyatam Kuntila Kundalam Shimukam Jate Yada Udikshasham Pakshma Kridrasham Gopi Gita. They cannot tolerate an eye blink's worth of separation from Krishna. The Rasa Leela, which lasted Brahmaratri, 4,300,000,000 years, they said, it was like the blink of an eye. Before we knew it, it was over. That's about union, left them hankering. But in separation, the blink of an eye's worth of separation from Krishna is like Brahmaratri, a night of Brahma to them, intolerable. So for those divine damsels, this intolerable separation, which we know from the experts, achieves a greater depth of heart and yields a superior type of prem that Krishna is addicted to. So Yogamaya arranges separation, but still Krishna is not heartless. He's crying his eyes out in Dwarka in separation from the, crying his lotus eyes out in separation from the Braja Gopis, and thought, I should send like a message, make everybody feel better. But he also wants Uddhava to have a glimpse of them. So he sends the message, Rupa Goswami writes of it, Uddhava Sandesh. And when he's there, Uddhava's reading, and Krishna says that you should all learn yoga. God is everywhere. And the yogis, by their yogic meditation, subdue the senses, bring the mind under control, and are able to perceive divinity everywhere. So then you don't have to ever worry about being separated from him, because you'll realize that God is everywhere and in everything. And they're just becoming angry. Like, can you believe this? This is the letter he writes. But Radharani is not even listening to that. She's spun off in her own divine manner, and she sees a Brahma, a big black and yellow bumblebee. And she goes off and thinks he's a messenger from Krishna because black and yellow. Krishna's black and he wears a yellow dhoti. And she's looking at him and starts complaining. 10 different types of prajalpa, divine, and I can't talk about it, but Guru Maharaj was his specialty. And in Ban Maharaj's bomb shelter at the Oriental Institute in Vrindavan, Guru Maharaj spoke to Krishnadas Babaji Maharaj and Ban Maharaj about the Brahma Gita. And Babaji Maharaj remarked, he said, high talks in a low place, because they were underground. But what we can say, one particular verse, the Srimati Radharani says, Yadanu Charita Lila Krishna, Piyusha Krishna, Viprut, Sadkrita Danda Dharma Vinashta, Sapari Griham Kunda Vihanga Bhikkhu Charjam Charanti. He's saying, Yadanu Charita Lila Karna Piyusha, Piyush means nectar. She said, if you hear a drop, it's like she's complaining. If you get a drop of this stuff on you, you're dead. That's what she's saying. If you get one drop of Krishna-katha on your heart, it will burn a hole through your heart. You'll drop dead. You're done. She's saying, so think about this before you get involved in the Krishna consciousness movement. One drop of this stuff is enough to kill you, right? Ruin you forever. Your whole, you won't be able to take people seriously anymore. You have to pretend to be a member of the material world. You have to pretend that you're fulfilling karmic obligations. You have to put everybody on. You won't be able to go on. One drop has that effect. And what do you end up being? You're going to be a bum, a homeless bum in the street, like those birds that fly around and they eat a little bit of stuff and then they fly. That's the life that awaits you if you join the Krishna consciousness movement. You're going to be a homeless bum. I'm mildly paraphrasing. So she says, you're going to be like one of those birds, they like fly down and they take a little crumb or something and then they go off. She said, what kind of life is that? And then the acharyas say, well, bird, yes, but what kind of bird will you become? Hangsa. She's saying indirectly, one drop of Krishna-katha is sufficient to turn you into a Paramahamsa. That's what she's saying. And when she says your life is finished, she means your material life. Today or tomorrow, it's just a matter of time. You're done. So do some good things on the way out. So Guru Maharaj, he loves this Brahma Gita. And after I made all these books, got him to reveal the Brahma Gayatri and approved me publishing it, the last thing I asked him, I said, you said once that you would talk about the Brahma Gita at the right time. And he's like, and we know if you say certain things, you can send Guru Maharaj in a divine direction. Gurudeva is expert at doing that. But then Guru Maharaj started speaking in these almost indecipherable divine fragments. So I'm not going to touch that at this point. But he did honor the request. He said he would, and he did. And actually in time, I can understand a little bit what he's saying. So in other words, his specialty is something that only a handful of people could possibly understand. That's what he specializes in. That poet who said we need more people to specialize in the impossible must have had Guru Maharaj in mind. Right? So he's thinking, Uddhav Kyari. That's where Uddhava delivered the message to the Brahmagopi, Brajagopi. There's a well there. And we went there with Srila Nabadwip Maharaj. And, it's not a very well-known place. There are no established memorials or anything. And these cowherd men with big mustaches and turbans came out. And they, in a very pleading way, they told us, they said, we saw so many glorious festivals here long ago, and now it's neglected, and please do something here. So Guru Maharaj, he thought, that's the place. And then, as Guru Maharaj says, do not be overly confident in your own assessment of things. Consult higher Vaishnavas, reliable representatives of Sri Guru. So he thinks about it more deeply and thinks, Vrindavan is for the highest section of liberated souls. Krishna Lilamrita Sar, Tar, Sata Shatadar, etc. Saying, no, it's inappropriate for me to spend my final days here. So then he starts heading east. I'm not good at directions. And reaches Jagannath Puri. And there, same thing, Gangbhir. Because what did it say Mahaprabhu is doing in the company of Swarup Damodar and Ramananda for the last 12 years of his manifest pastimes? Behind closed doors, Uddhava Darshan. Uddhava Darshan means Brahma Gita. That's what he's relishing, that Brahma Gita. Day and night with Swarup and Ramananda. That Uddhava Darshane means Brahma Gita. So Guru Maharaj, you see, he's got a one-track mind. He thinks, well, not Vrindavan, but he's still holding on to the Brahma Gita idea, but shifting to Puri. But then it occurs to him that he says, it's been said, Nabadwip is for the non-liberated section. We consider him to be an eternally liberated associate of Mahaprabhu, Krishna, Srimati Radharani. But he's humbly took himself as the non-liberated section and said, I should seek my fortune in Navadvip. But ever perfect in his movements, Srila Guru Maharaj, he goes to Ekachakra. Why? Because Nityananda Prabhu is considered to be the Dhameswar of Nabadwip Dham, the visa granting officer. As Guru Maharaj said many times, having a passport is insufficient. You have to get a visa. Just like you can't say, oh, I want to go to Thailand, I got a passport. They say, that's good, it's a good start, but you need to get a visa. And even after you get a visa, you will be examined by an immigration official who will make the final say-so. And when you're doing that, that immigration official is the Thai government. They may be imperfect in this way or that. They might be flirting with the person 2 booths over. So many things you could say about them. But when you come before them, they are the Thai government, personified in front of you, asking you questions. And on the basis of your answer, that officer, you got your passport, you've got your visa, still that officer will decide if it's in the interest of the Thai people and the Thai government for you to enter the country. We already know you want to enter, but they will decide your entry here is beneficial for the people and country of Thailand or not. Same thing. We already know, oh, you want to go to this Vrindavan and you want spiritual and all this stuff. That's not how it works. First you have to be given a visa by someone, a real one. Not you, like, no, I can Photoshop one. That's Sahajiaism. They have Photoshop visas to enter the spiritual world. And they know all about Photoshop up there and other stuff we haven't even seen yet, right? So you got to get that approval, that permission. So Srila Guru Maharaj knows all these things. We don't know them. I'm just telling you what he says. So he goes to the Dhameswar, Nityananda Prabhu's birthplace, Ekachakra, Birachandrapur, and he goes to the house. Nitai Bari is the house of Nitai. Harai Pandit, father, Padmavati, mother, and he comes before the deity of Nityananda, whom Srila Gurudev had on his wall in his final days. He's lying in his bed and looking at a picture of Nityananda Prabhu. And so one day I'm visiting with him, and he said, Maharaj, because out of the corner of my eye, it looks similar to Mahaprabhu Bari, Vishnu Priya's deity. I didn't look, and he goes, no, Maharaj, he said, you will never see a more beautiful Nityananda Prabhu. And I started looking at him, and he goes, no, I'm telling you. You know, as if the way I was looking was some level of doubt or disbelief. He said, no, I'm telling you, you will never see a more beautiful Nityananda Prabhu than you will see there. That's the divine vision of Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Sundar Govindadev Goswami Maharaj, the successor of the founder Acharya of Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Math, Srila Guru Maharaj. Remember, there may be many Acharyas. It's only one founder Acharya and one successor to the founder Acharya. And that is Srila Bhakti Sundar Govindadev Goswami Maharaj. So, and he told me these things. I'm just sharing what he told. No realization implied. So Guru Maharaj goes there and arrives at the train station. and hires a bullock cart because he felt it would be inappropriate to ride a bullock cart. He puts all of his books and belongings on the bullock cart and walks beside it. So from the train station to Nitai Bari, the house of Nityananda, and there he supplicates himself. He falls down before the deity of Nityananda and says, "You are Patita Pavana. I am Patita. Please give me your shelter. I seek shelter at your lotus feet." And up to this point, Srila Guru Maharaj was hesitating to initiate. Although Srila Prabhupada's sister approached him and others, he declined. And because Srila Bhakti Saranga Goswami Maharaj had been authorized Ritvik power by Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur in his lifetime, when he sent them to London, Srila Guru Maharaj felt that was safe. All right, he was directly empowered by Prabhupada Saraswati Thakur, you go to him. And Guru Maharaj gave him sannyas. So he thought, that's good. But now the inspiration, he's seeking entrance and shelter in Nabadwip Dham, and the inspiration comes to him, but you don't give shelter to Patita. You're asking, saying you are Patita and seeking shelter, but when Patita approaches you, you don't give shelter. That, coupled with, Guru Maharaj said there's an example that a Brahmin who had a virtually inconceivable level of learning, but he never taught anyone anything. He just kept it all to himself. In his next life, he became a mango tree, and no one ate the mangoes. Not even a bird would stop by that tree and nibble on a mango. Like that. That's second. And Jiva Goswami gives an example where he says, if you're a man of immense wealth and there's someone next to you who's like starving and you don't make some arrangement for their nourishment, there's a fault on your part. So those three things Guru Maharaj meditated on. Then he thought, all right, I will establish a math. He preferred Nirjan Bhajan and was qualified to do that, but he knew it was not approved by Saraswati Thakur. Dushtaman Tumi Kishe Kevala Koitava. What kind of Vaishnava are you? You know, what he actually says there, Kanaka Kamini Pratishta, Bhagini, anyway, he says, I'm just telling you what it actually says, Shukura Vishta, it's saying, Pratishta is like pig shit. That's what it says. But, you know, they go, and Pratishta is like the stool of that one animal that is sometimes, you know, just stop. He says, Pratishta is like pig shit. That's what he says. And he's singing it. Babaji Maharaj used to sing that song. Kanaka Kamini Pratishta, something Bhagini means witch. Because the good one is Kanaka Kamini Pratishta, Vaishnavi Pratishta Tatikoro Nishta. We care about the opinions of Vaishnavas. So anyway, Guru Maharaj knows all those things, and now he knows what he has to do. So he thinks, I prefer Nirjan Bhajan. He lived in Navadvip for a year. No one knew where he was. Then and at a hired house. His brother, who was next, Guru Maharaj was the eldest, so everything came to him. But when you take sannyas in India at that time, you're legally dead. You can't own any property. You're just legally dead. So the next brother inherits everything. So because his brother inherited everything, he always felt like he should help Guru Maharaj. So he gave him 10 rupees per month. 1 rupee to pay his rent and 9 rupees to live on. So Guru Maharaj did that for 1 year, and we sometimes, Parikrama party goes by that place where he lived. then Saki Babu, who gave land for Sri Gaudiya Math, he was very much attracted to Guru Maharaj, his representation. He donated the land for Chaitanya Saraswat Math in Koler Danga. And in a purport, Chaitanya Charitamritam, Srila Saraswati Thakur says, he starts talking about what is actual Nabadwip. Because everything's a controversy with the Bengalis. So some people say, well, this is Nabadwip, that's not Nabadwip, the original one was this, not that, here or there, the bridge over here, no, Mahaprabhu, and they have all this stuff. So Saraswati Thakur says, Kulia is Nabadwip. What you see Kulia Gram, Kulia, that is Nabadwip original. And then he says, the following places are included. And one of them is Koler Daha, which is also Koler Dunga. So when we first went to Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Math, when we'd show up at the train station, the rickshaw would come out and we go, Koler Dunga Math. Now they say Jal Mandir. But at that time they said, Koler Dunga Math. Because it's the Math located in Koler Dunga. That's what they know. So, Koladwip, Koler Danga. So Guru Maharaj says, I'm going to, in deference to the wishes of my Guru Maharaj, establish a Math, but I'm not going to aggressively canvass for men, money, buildings, etc. Nadanam, Najanam the Sundarim Kavitamba Jagadisha Kamaye. In line with Mahaprabhu's teaching. So he goes there, and with Satish Prabhu, they clear the land very respectfully. Guru Maharaj doesn't like to remove anything unnecessarily because he considers they're all Dhambasis. Das Goswami said, Yat kinchit trigumaki krita mukam goste samastamitat sarvananda mayam mayonukulin mukunda doyitam mayonuku anukulim mukunda doyita. The insects, the birds, the beasts, the trees, they're all dear to Mukunda and Leelanuku, favorable. They're helping the Leela, the pastime. So when you have the trees, there are birds in the trees. So you have to have trees, birds, bees flying around. They're all exalted, super exalted souls, and Krishna Leela and Gaura Leela. So Srila Guru Maharaj establishes the Math there. And let's see, there's the deities, Guru, Gauranga, Gandharva, Govinda Sundar, and Radharani. That Gandharva, she's singing and dancing to keep Krishna attracted. And once with Srila Gurudev, the Krishna deity, he was looking at having darshan of the Krishna deity, and he turned to me and he said, heavy Madhura Rasa. I have no idea what he's talking about, but that's what he's saying. He goes, he's looking, he goes, heavy Madhura Rasa. Such are the divine lotus eyes vision of Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj. So, and Gauranga Mahaprabhu was there first. Guru Maharaj established the Math with 2 Govardhan Shila that he brought after that Brajamandal Parikrama. And there was this one child who heard about it, the story, and Guru Maharaj liked this because the child heard that the Math was established on 2 Govardhan Shilas, and the boy said, how wonderful! So Guru Maharaj liked that. How wonderful! Then Mahaprabhu came, and then when Srila Gurudev came in 1947, Guru Maharaj said, this brisky boy who is so full of serving life and capacity, and Guru Maharaj decided to transfer his full wealth to him because he is the divine servitor. Srila Govinda Maharaj, he went to Jaipur and got these deities. So that means they were installed at least after 1947. And there you see Srila Gurudev, always in the relativity of Srila Guru Maharaj. He didn't put anything in his mouth without saying, Jai Guru Maharaj. And he said, Maharaj, remember you said I'm a fanatic for Guru Maharaj? I said, I remember it very well. You know, you're fanatic number one, I'm fanatic number two. He didn't put anything in his mouth without first saying, Jai Guru Maharaj. Guru Maharaj says, a true disciple is always living in the relativity of his Guru Maharaj. And they say, as rare as it is to find a pure devotee, Sudurlabha, Bhagavatahi Loke, it is equally, if not more rare, to find a true disciple. And Guru Maharaj found a true disciple in Srila Gurudev, who also, there's Srila Prabhupada. Why did Govinda Maharaj start saying Bhagavan Bhakti Siddhanta? I mean, don't ask me. Take it from him. He says, everyone in the world knows that Prabhupada means Swami Maharaj. Everyone in the world knows when you say Prabhupada, it means His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. This is Govinda Maharaj speaking, not me. So that, but I would say from my point of view, so in Gaudiya Math parlance, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he's Prabhupada. So in Gaudiya Math parlance, and that Guru Varga section, they call Srila Prabhupada Swami Maharaj. But that a bunch of ignorant children think the cool people call him Swami Maharaj is total bullshit. And I can't tell you how much pain it gives my heart to hear of these young people who know absolutely nothing calling Srila Prabhupada Swami Maharaj. It's shameless, it's shameful. You are not Govinda Maharaj. You are not his equal. He is Srila Prabhupada. Okay? There he is, a Shaktavesh avatar, and you're going to demean him by if someone just said, yeah, Govinda Maharaj, you're cool with that? Sridhar Maharaj, you're cool with that? No, you say Srila Gurudev. But you dare call Srila Prabhupada, the declared Shaktavesh avatar by Guru Maharaj, Swami Maharaj, because you're the cool people. You do things the way they do it at the Math. Let's go to the Math, oh Prabhu, let's go to the Math. Thank you, Rupa Vilas knows that one. He's old enough to know that. Anyway, so Gurudev said, because everyone in the world, except his disciples, know that Srila Prabhupada, he's Srila Prabhupada and should be called Srila Prabhupada. So I've started saying Bhagavan Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati to give some unique, because everyone, my brother was a urologist in LA. He'll go, do you think Srila Prabhupada would approve? He knows who Prabhupada is. Everybody in the world, except the disciples of Srila Govinda Maharaj, know who Prabhupada is. That can't be. That can no longer be. Right? So, what was I going to say? When he started saying Bhagavan Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati, some of his own so-called followers objected. Because Bhagavan, the long and short of it is, Bhagavan means God. So, but then Gurudev, sometimes we would sit around and think of all the different non-God you should say uses of Bhagavan in the Bhagavad, like Bhagavan Badarayani, Bhagavan Badarayana. I said, hey Maharaj, I found a new one. What? Bhagavan Drona. Ha! Bah! Bhagavan Drona. So Dronacharya can be called Bhagavan, but not Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Still, when Gurudev does something, he's got aces up his sleeve before he sits at the table. He's already beat you before the game starts. So one such foolish person comes before him saying, so someone objected to the Bhagavan, and he goes, oh really, sure, Jai Maharaj, yeah. Okay, can you hand me that book there? And he hands it, and he goes, what book is that? It's the Srimad Bhagavatam. Do you know whose Bhagavatam it is? It's Srila Guru Maharaj's Bhagavatam. Open it to this page. He opens it. Can you read what it is written in the marginalia in Srila Guru Maharaj's handwriting? Bhagavan Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Does that satisfy you, Prabhu? You got to get up pretty early in the morning, like before 3. If you're going to pull one on Govinda Maharaj, you got to get up before 3. And he said, there's a custom in the villages, if you're wrong about something, that you get on your hands and knees and you drag your nose around 2 meters across the floor and beg forgiveness from that person. And he said, if I am wrong, I will get on my hands and knees and drag my nose across the floor and admit that I'm wrong. When he says something like that, it is impossible that he is wrong. But when I'd say, Maharaj, what are they? He goes, Maharaj, they are enthusiastic. I go, oh, okay. So you know it's totally off the wall, but you're just tolerating it. Okay, got it. When one Russian girl came up to him and he's saying all this stuff, these high things, and Guru Maharaj, at the end of her talk, he goes, macaroni? In other words, he's saying, what you just described, what you think is higher in the upper world, I'm hearing macaroni. Is that what you said? Macaroni. And then Vaishnava Maharaj, Sridhar Prabhu, disposed of her. And then I said to Gurudev, I said, he goes, Maharaj, he said to me, Maharaj, you are so tolerant. And I said, I wanted to kill her. I said, but I looked over at you and you're tolerating. And then he said, no, I was looking at you and you were tolerating. I said, no, I was looking at you and you were tolerating. Anyway, Sridhar Prabhu, he's handled that matter. So, at the Math, so the Mahaprabhu deity on the Math, that one, so Gurudev sometimes commissions a Mahaprabhu and puts him on the side. And this Mahaprabhu told him that the other Mahaprabhu should have his own place. So Gurudev, again, he's wondering, can you put a deity in a samadhi? And he thinks, that's the way his process, he thinks, scripture, senior servitors, godbrothers of Guru Maharaj, he goes through the whole, and he's, oh, so-and-so, and he figures out that you can. So he does this. He puts this Mahaprabhu in Guru Maharaj's samadhi, and later he goes for jal, keli, water sport pastimes. There is Srila Gurudev on his sannyas. Srila Gurudev wanted to be always the secretary of Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Math. He did not crave the acharyaship. And in fact, so many times Guru Maharaj's pressuring him. And Gurudev said, Maharaj, you make someone else the acharya, and as I'm doing for you, I will do for them. So no worries. And it was Guru Maharaj's vision, like, no, it's you or no one. It's only can be you. Only you can actually represent me in the way that I want to be represented. It's not a question of just running a math. Many can do that. Gurudev used to appreciate managers of other maths. So Guru Maharaj said, anyone can, not anyone, but many can manage a math. That's not it. But who can extract substance from the upper world and distribute that here, extract something new, that is the seva of the acharya. Achinoti yashastrartam. To extract new meaning from the shastra. That is the acharya seva. And he said, that only you can do. The others can be a guru, initiate, and sing, dance, give a talk, do that. So, but who can extract the inner meaning of the scripture in a reliable way and distribute that? I find only you can do that. And that's what I do, and that's my successor must have that quality. And you, only you have it. But Gurudev's always saying, oh, well, you know, like, so mentioning Guru Maharaj, no. But it keeps going on. And then Gurudev says, oh, look at my chart. It says I'm not going to live so long. He's like running out of aces. Look at my chart. And Guru Maharaj said, I throw your chart in the Ganga. I am giving you life. And he lowly 82 or 80, something like that. Because the Gurudev said, 60s or 70, 82. So Guru Maharaj said, I'm giving you life. I throw your chart in the Ganga. I give you to 82 by my divine power. Like once Gurudev was in a state and ready to do some damage to some others. And Guru Maharaj hugged him and squeezed it out of him. And he was like limp before him. And he said to Guru Maharaj, how much of your power did you use? Guru Maharaj said, very little. But it was like a Dhritarashtra type embrace. He just like squeezed whatever was in him out of him. And Guru was like, wow, how much of your power did you use? Guru Maharaj said, very little. Because once Guru Maharaj is trying to chastise him, but he has so much love and affection for him, he can't do it, And Gurudev said to Guru Maharaj, you don't know how to slap someone. You don't know. What you're doing, no, that's not the way you do it. So how much love and affection and intimacy they have. So Srila Gurudev, by the way, where's the 9-dome mat? Oh, there. He built that. And they said the 9th dome, which is Atma Nivedanam, 9 domes for, Sravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Sadha Sevanam, Archanam, Bandhanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atma Nivedanam. The 9th dome is Atma Nivedanam. That's why it's the biggest one. Nothing is accidental here. And they said, the architects and engineers said it's too big. It'll come crashing down. It will weigh, they figured it out. They just don't make something. They also know, and they figured it all out, the weight, the kilos, the this. And they said, that dome is too big. It's, it's going to be a disaster. And Srila Gurudev, with his intelligence, his buddhi, his seva buddhi, figured out how to do it and practically contradict the laws of engineering. And that's why the mat looks as beautiful and glorious as it does. So, Srila Gurudev, where are they? Yeah. So Guru Maharaj finally says, if you don't accept the acharjaship, I will. The Chaitanya Saraswat Math is not a non-profit religious organization. It's a privately owned property belonging to Guru, Gauranga, Gandharva, Govinda Sundar, with Guru Maharaj as their Sevite. That's it. It's not a religious 501c3. It's not a public benefit. It's not a religious organization, actually. The Mool Math, Chaitanya Saraswat Math. It's a privately owned property. And the owners are, where are they? There they are. Mahaprabhu, Krishna, and Radharani. They're the proprietors of that property. And Guru Maharaj is their servitor, Sevite, succeeded by Srila Gurudev. So, and present Sevite there is one of Gurudev's servants. He's continuing the Seva Puja of the Chaitanya Saraswat Math, from what I hear. So, and Gurudev would be pleased with that. So, Guru Maharaj says, so I will shutter the mat. I send the deities to Puri Maharaj, because Puri Maharaj is expert at not only that, but at deity worship. I send the deities to Puri Maharaj, and that's it. Game over. And I leave the world. And Gurudev, no, Maharaj, don't do that. All right, I will accept the acharjaship as a service. He always made sure it says, President Sevayat Acharya. To be the acharya, it's also a service. We may say it's a very high service, it's the highest service, but it is a service. Srila Gurudev said, if it's service to you, then I accept that. Otherwise, he has no interest in being a big guru with so many followers, and he's not interested in that. But he is interested. He said, whenever I know there's service to Guru Maharaj, I'm jumping. That he wants. And Guru Maharaj is saying, this is the service I require from you. And that's when he said, Maharaj, I am your goat. And we might note that being a goat in Bengal is not an enviable position. So he said, I am your goat. And Jiva Goswami says this too, and quoted in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu of Rupa Goswami, saying, your real surrender is like being a souled animal. Like, and we go, what does that mean? Because we're not familiar with that so much. But a souled animal means probably one is going for slaughter, not for, like Disneyland or something. They're going to be slaughtered. That's why the person bought them. And so Gurudev said, I am your goat. If it pleases you, you go, hey, let's cut the goat's tail off. That'll be fun. He goes, then you do that. Or if you want to slit my throat, oh, let's eat that goat. Let's slit his throat, turn him upside down, drain all the blood. Then you do that. Whatever you want, you do with me. That's Atmanivedanam. That's what Guru Maharaj admires. And that's the base, the foundation of the Chaitanya Saraswat Math, is self-giving, self-sacrifice, epitomized in Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami, and utterly worshipped and admired by Srila Guru Maharaj. So he accepted that acharjaship. And what does he say in the mantra? Gurba bhista sukaram supurakam gurugane ashisha sambhusitam. You see Prabhupada smiling? He loves Govinda Maharaj too. Ashisha sambhusitam. He's got Prabhupada's backing. Prabhupada said, now that he's got Govinda Maharaj, let's see what Sridhar Maharaj does. Before that, they know Guru Maharaj is not going to come off his veranda. He'll be up there, interpreting the Gayatri mantra, Radhadasyam, subjective evolution, Prema Dhamma, composing. And Madhava Maharaj said, you're cheating the devotional public. But he loved them too. He used to stay with them a month every year. Why? He said, because they should hear from you. And they're not. They're hearing from me and other people, and we're doing the best we can, but you're the one. Saraswati Thakur said, you're the one who fully represents him, who's carrying the current of Rupa Goswami, and you're up here on your rooftop in Nabadwip and not preaching to the intelligentsia in Calcutta. You're cheating everybody. But he'd say that, you know, how, like, well, in New York, what they call kidding on the side. So, but then when he got Govinda Maharaj, the God brothers are going like, oh, now something's going to happen. And he's got Srila Govinda Maharaj, who's got, what did Kesava Maharaj say? With we, the senior disciples of Saraswati Thakur, with our virtually unlimited resources, what we cannot do, Govinda Maharaj does and achieves with his intelligence. When Srila Kesava Maharaj would write something, because his Sanskrit and his poetry was not perfect, he sent it to Srila Govinda Maharaj for correction and editing. And he'll show to Guru Maharaj if he needs to. Bhakti Pragyan Kesava Maharaj sends his writings to Srila Govinda Maharaj, like, can you look over it and see if I made some mistakes and maybe, you know, help me out a little bit. He has that capacity. When Guru Maharaj is writing all of those wonderful compositions, he's saying, I'm searching for a word that, you know, following criteria. Gurudev would say, this word, Guru Maharaj, perfect, that one, no, I'll put that in. So he's also supplying, and if that's what if he needs to clean Guru Maharaj's toilet, he does that. If he needs to supply a word for a poem or a pranam, he supplies that. He's ever the servitor of Srila Guru Maharaj, offering self in service. And so when I asked permission, there's Gurudev accepting the sannyas, when I asked permission for the Mahaprabhu and subsequently Radha Govinda Sundar, Gurudev said to Guru Maharaj, you know, like, Goswami Maharaj gave you these deities, Sri Guru and his grace, there's Gurudev in Thailand, Paramananda Prabhu and Krishna Priya, that's the evidence he's in Thailand. Is there? But here, the search for Sri Krishna, Reality to Beautiful, the first book we made. So Gurudev said, Goswami Maharaj is giving you 3 deities. Give one to him. You know, and it was that Mahaprabhu, which Pavan Krishna did a miracle in Nabakalevar, revealing his new divine form. But before that, because I was off in my conception about the Mahaprabhu deity, Srila Guru Maharaj said to me, he said, if you want to know what a Mahaprabhu deity should look like, you go to Mahaprabhu Bari, Vishnu Priya Bari, the house of Vishnu Priya. And, well, it's further there. He said, when you see this deity, you will understand what a Mahaprabhu deity should look like. And you see, there's hands like that. That is the offering gesture, offering yourself in service. Like Vishnu Priya, she is dying, drowning in an ocean of separation, and he's come before her, offering himself in her service. So, and so beautiful, this Gauranga Mahaprabhu. So, Pavan Krishna Prabhu and with Jamuna Didi, they followed what we see here and our Mahaprabhu. But then I was very surprised. There's another picture. And look how beautiful he is. And fatty from all the prasadam. And it's so beautiful. Look at that. And so when Srila Nabadwip Maharaj arranged for Guru Gauranga Gandharvika Gopinath Ji to go to Italy, when I saw the deities, here they are, Radharani, I've never seen Radharani so beautiful, and Krishna, so mischievous, but Mahaprabhu is just really extraordinary. And I saw, oh, he's in the offering mood. Oh, so when I come back from Vishnu Priya's, I ask Gurudev, I say, but he's in this mudra, offering mudra, and you've got, he said, no, we show Mahaprabhu dancing in the kirtan. That is our tradition. But then I saw this Mahaprabhu, I said, oh, he's really like Vishnu Priya's deity. And then I suggested, it's only my suggestion, that let this Mahaprabhu be unique. Don't now at another temple try and imitate this. Generally, Mahaprabhu will be in the dancing posture. One are like this. Or two, sometimes Vijay Vigraha. But this is very, very confidential. And let this Mahaprabhu at Vila Govinda be that special Mahaprabhu, and you go for his darshan and prasad. But so beautiful and charming he is. So that's what I have to say. And I'd like to now have Madhusudan Maharaj continue.
Maharaj, at your service, and praying to be at the service also of Mahaprabhu here in Vila Govinda, and Shishi Guru Gauranga Gandhavika Gopinath Ju. Yeah. And as you know, just over a week ago, they manifest here, and that you're connecting Nabadwip and to the deities here and then asking me to speak, then we also must say that we feel and want that all the temples, and here we feel very much that the temple really is like a satellite of what Guru Maharaj and Srila Gurudev stood for, what they wanted of the devotees, and to make a temple for Guru Maharaj and Gurudev and for Mahaprabhu, Radha and Krishna, as has come here. So we pray that all over the world, that can be the theme for everyone's temple. That the temple of Guru Maharaj and Gurudev. This is Chaitanya Saraswat Math. Guru Maharaj, Gurudev and Srila Prabhupada. So Maharaj, yes, we're in.
Yes, like
we're
Guru
in
Maharaj.
Nabadwip.
Yeah. As you said, it's a half day. So we're now ready for Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Garadha Sivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Garadha Sivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Garadha Sivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Shri Advaita Garadhar Sivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nitai Gaura Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Gaura Hari Bo. Nitai Gaura Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Gaura Hari Bo. Madhusudan Maharaj.
We're in Nabadwip. Jai Saparika Shishi Guru Gauranga Gandhava Govinda Sundar Ju Ki Jai.
Jai.
Jai Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Math Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivrajacharya Astatar Sata Shri Shrimad Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaja Ki Jai.
Jai.
Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Rock Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Ki Jai. Shri Rupa Nuga Guru Vaga Ki Jai. Jai Shri Nabadwip Dham Parikrama Ki Jai. Shri Vishnu Praise Deity Mahaprabhu Ki Jai. And Jai Shri Koladwip Koladwip ki jai, Shri Koladanga ki jai, Shri Nabadwip Dham ki jai, and jai Shri Gangamayi ki jai, Shri Govinda Kund ki jai, Shri Giriraj in Govinda Kund ki jai, Shri Sadashiva Gangadhar ki jai, Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki jai, and jai Shri Nityananda leading Shri Jiva Goswami on Parikrama ki jai, Shri Shad Goswami ki jai, jai Srila Bhakti Sudhir Goswami Maharaj ki jai, Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Acharya Vrinda ki jai, and all the exalted devotees, all the devotees present ki jai, and Ananta Koti Vaishnava ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanandi Hari Hari.
Jai Srila Bhakti Nabadwip Maharaj ki jai. Jai Srila Bhakti Ranjan Madhusudan Maharaj ki jai. Sri Vijay Raman Prabhu ki jai. Sri Prapanna-jivanamritam Prabhu ki jai. Krishna Priya Didi ki jai. Bhakti Lalita Devi Dasi ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanandi Rupa Vilas Prabhu ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanandi